more stuff out of the way to begin with, because I know some of you guys actually like this. Okay, onto the policy. Okay. Andrew would implement the Freedom Dividend, a universal basic income of $1,000 a month, $12,000 a year for every American adult over the age of 18. This is independent of one's work status or any other factor. This would enable all Americans to pay their bills, educate themselves, start businesses, be more creative, stay healthy, relocate for work, spend time with their children, take care of loved ones, and have a real stake in the future. And I have to tell you guys, when I first heard about the Freedom Dividend or universal basic income back in 2018, I thought this stuff was BS. I'm like, why just hand out free money? But then when I started reading Rutger Bregman's book, Utopia for Realists, and he's not a Yang supporter in any way. He's just someone who's done research on policies like universal basic income. And they saw that in most experiments, crime went down, drug use went down, homelessness went down, happiness went up, volunteerism went up. So don't worry about what the jobs numbers are or the overall GDP is, because a lot of times that doesn't reflect the overall economy, and that really only reflects what the people at the top are making. I know I worked for the federal government, and they did crap for me. They abandoned me and left me homeless overseas when I started whistleblowing. So this is a stronger protection than even the unions can be, because the union didn't stick up for me either. We need this in America. So let me continue whispering his policy, okay? The Freedom Dividend. Other than regular increases to the cost, to keep up the cost of living, any change to the Freedom Dividend would require a constitutional amendment. It will be illegal to lend or borrow against one's dividend. A universal basic income at this level would permanently grow the economy by 12.56, the 13.10%, or about 2.5 trillion by 2025, and it would increase the labor force by 4.5 to 4.7 million people. Putting money into people's hands and keeping it there would be a perpetual boost and support job growth and the economy. It would support independent journalism, because we can't always trust our mainstream media. It would trust small businesses and entrepreneurs, because we can't always trust big corporations. We need to start focusing at the grassroots level, and one of the best ways to do this is to just give people money to survive. It's not going to fix everything, but it's a start. And with Andrew Yang's 160 other plus policies, it's going to help us out quite a bit. It'll help me out, and it'll help my future children out and my wife out. So, problems to be solved. Approximately 40 million Americans live below the poverty line. Technology quickly displaces a number of workers, and the pace will only increase as automation and other forms of artificial intelligence become more advanced. 1/3 of American workers will lose their jobs to automation by 2030, according to McKinsey. This has the potential to destabilize our economy and society if unaddressed. Good jobs are becoming more and more scarce, and Americans are already working harder and harder for less and less. It is necessary to support and preserve a robust consumer economy. And 5, many Americans are stuck in the wrong jobs because of a need to survive. And number 6, there are many positive social activities that are currently impossible for many to do because they lack the financial resources to dedicate time to it, including taking care of a child or sick loved one and volunteering in the community. So, the most direct and concrete way for the government to improve your life is to send you a check for $1,000 every month and let you spend it in whatever manner will benefit you the most. The government is not capable of a lot of things, but it is capable of sending large numbers of checks to large numbers of people promptly and reliably, especially with the advent of technology. We don't have to waste money on all the excessive overhead for a lot of these other programs, and more of that money can go directly back to the American consumer. And consumer, because we have a consumer economy here, a consumer-driven economy. Let's start a trickle-up economy where we give money back to those who will actually spend it so that it goes back up to the top rather than people at the top just holding it and investing it while the people at the bottom are left to suffer. So we have plenty of resources. They're just not being distributed to enough people right now. Let's build a new kind of economy, one that puts people first, humanity first. If there's one policy that would transform the lives for the better, it is universal basic income. So, the goals. 1, end poverty in the most direct manner possible, giving people money. Number 2, move our economy into its next stage of development, human capitalism, with a focus on improving everyone's quality of living. 3, prevent the massive disruption that will accompany the rapid development and adoption of automation and other AI technologies. 4, allow people the freedom to switch jobs, move, innovate, and contribute to society. And 5, turbocharge the economy by providing income to those who are most likely to spend it. So, as president, Andrew Yang will implement the Freedom Dividend, providing universal basic income of $1,000 a month to all American adults over the age of 18, so that we may share in the prosperity we have contributed to and participate in the new economy. Notice how I'm not whispering, guys. That's how passionate I am about Andrew Yang. He keeps making me speak at higher volumes because I trust him. I trust him so much more than I've trusted most politicians up until this point. So, here's an excerpt from his book that he wrote himself, not with a ghostwriter like Donald Trump's, what is it called? The Art of the Deal. The one where he got someone else to write it and then he makes a ton of terrible deals. Yeah. So anyways, an excerpt from The War on Normal People, written by Andrew Yang. Universal basic income, or UBI, is a version of Social Security where all citizens receive a set amount of money per month, independent of their work status or income. Everyone from a hedge fund billionaire in New York to an impoverished single mom in West Virginia would receive a monthly check of $1,000. If someone is working as a waitress or construction worker making $18,000, he or she would essentially be making $30,000. UBI eliminates the disincentive to work that most people find troubling about traditional welfare programs. If you work, you could actually start saving and get ahead. With the growing threat of automation, the concept has gained renewed attention, with trials being run in Oakland, Canada, and Finland, as well as in India and other parts of the developing world. To date, people tend to associate universal basic income with technology utopians. But a form of UBI almost became law in the United States in 1970 and 1971, passing the House of Representatives twice before stalling in the Senate. Versions of the idea have been championed by robust thinkers of every political persuasion for decades, including some of the most admired figures in American life. Here's a sampling. Thomas Paine in 1796. Out of a collected fund from landowners, there shall be paid to every person when arrived at the age of 21 years the sum of £15 compensation in part for the loss of his or her natural inheritance to every person, rich or poor. Martin Luther King Jr., 1967. I am now convinced that the simplest approach will prove to be the most effective. The solution to poverty is to abolish it directly by now widely discussed measure, the guaranteed income. Richard Nixon, August 1969. What I am proposing is that the federal government build a foundation under the income of every American family that cannot care for itself and wherever in America that family may live. Milton Friedman, Nobel-winning economist, 1980. We should replace the rag bag of specific welfare programs with a single comprehensive program of income supplements and cash, a negative income tax, which would do more efficiently and humanely what our present welfare system does so inefficiently and inhumanely. Bernie Sanders, May 2014, before he changed his mind. In my view, every American is entitled to at least a minimum standard of living. There are different ways to get to that goal, but that's the goal that we should strive to reach. Stephen Hawking, July 2015. Everyone can enjoy a life of luxurious leisure if the machine-produced wealth is shared, or most people can end up miserably poor if the machine owners successfully lobby against wealth redistribution. So far, the trend seems to be toward the second option, with technology driving ever-increasing inequality. Barack Obama, June and October 2016. The way I describe it is that because of automation, because of globalization, we're going to have to examine the social compact the same way we did in the 19th century, and then again during and after the Great Depression. The notion of a 40-hour work week, a minimum wage, child labor laws, etc. Those will have to be updated for these new realities. What is indisputable is that as AI gets further incorporated and the society potentially gets wealthier, the link between production and distribution, how much you work and how much you make, gets further and further attenuated. We'll be debating unconditional free money over the next 10 or 20 years. Or how about now, because of Andrew Yang, because he's not an establishment politician. Warren Buffett, January 2017. You have to figure out how to distribute it. People who fall by the wayside through no fault of their own, as the goose lays more golden eggs, should still get a chance to participate in that prosperity. And that's where government comes in. Or should come in. They haven't been coming in, but let's hope they can change that. Bill Gates, January 2017. A problem of excess automation forces us to look at the individuals affected and take those extra resources and make sure they're directed to them in terms of free education and income policies. Gates later suggested taxing robots. Elon Musk, February 2017. I think we'll end up doing universal basic income. It's going to be necessary. There'll be fewer and fewer jobs that a robot cannot do better. I want to be clear. These are not things I will wish will happen. These are things I think probably will happen. Mark Zuckerberg, May 2017. It's interesting that people in the tech industry know what's going to happen to tech better than politicians. Mark Zuckerberg, May 2017. We should explore universal basic income so that everyone has a cushion to try new ideas. And finally, Nicole Salek Anderson, June 2017. Creating a world where UBI as our foundation will go a lot further towards equality between the sexes, for in doing so, we acknowledge that the work of the home is real, and we free women from the economic constraints that child rearing has come to bear upon us, much more than our male counterparts. This isn't left. This isn't right. This is forward. I know tons of Mormon families could benefit from this with their large number of kids and the fact that their mothers are stay-at-home moms. I know a lot of people in economically depressed areas could benefit from this because the government isn't doing enough to step in. This would at least allow them to create their own businesses, volunteer in their community, and help their community when the government fails to step in or when other charities fail to step in. This is for every single one of us. We've been fooled for too long, and it's time to move forward. So, learn more at yAngSMR.com, #yAngSMR. You can also do your own policies. Ciao.